If I were to ask you right now, how much water have you had to drink yesterday? Chances are you'd probably need to give that a little bit of a thought. Hi, I'm Tolis, and today I'm going to talk to you about how much water you need to be drinking for your weight loss program. Water is the very foundation of everything that you're going to need before you even get started with your weight loss program. You may have received your supplies by now, you may have your program at hand, but I'll tell you very honestly, don't start your program until you do this very, very simple exercise. And it is a simple exercise that unfortunately many people overlook, undervalue, or simply get wrong. And it's such a simple discipline. And let me tell you what it is. 1 to 2 weeks of drinking water knowingly. Know exactly how much water you are drinking, because this is going to be beneficial to your weight loss program and our conversations when we have our weekly follow-ups. So today what I'd like you to do is take note of your weight, and now we're going to do a very simple calculation. If you weigh 60 kilograms, I want you to multiply that number by 0.035. 35 milliliters times 60 kilograms is going to give you 2.1 as a number. That there is the amount of water that you need to be drinking on a daily basis, knowingly. This right here. This here is 2 liters of water. A 2-liter bottle of water is a very good place to start. Now, if you weigh 100 kilos, then the calculation is very simple. It's 0.035 times 100, which is the equivalent of 3.5. That is almost the equivalent of these 2 bottles of water. If you weigh 100 kilos or more, you're going to need to be drinking at least 2 of these bottles of water per day. Now, drinking water is not all that difficult. When do you want to drink water? Well, you want to drink water the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning. So have this bottle of water at the ready. Keep it next to your bed. That's what I do. Drink a good amount of water when you wake up in the morning. That's a very good way to start. Next, if you drink teas or coffees, make sure you top up after you've had your tea or coffee in the morning or whenever it is that you drink. If you also drink alcohol or you've had a bad night the night before, you also want to drink a lot of water. Alcohol, coffee, and teas have a natural way of dehydrating the body, and therefore you need to be topping up the amounts of water that you drink. If you are an active person, you need to be topping up the amount of water you drink simply because you sweat, you dehydrate, and therefore you need to top it up again. If you have a headache, if you're on medication, if you get cramps, if your skin feels itchy, if your elbows are dry, chances are you need to top up and drink water. By the time your body signals out that you are thirsty, it's already somewhat late. Stay on top of your hydration throughout the day. It's very simple. Keep that bottle next to you and then keep drinking water. I promise that if you drink more water, chances are you're going to feel a whole lot better. Your concentration levels are going to be better. You won't get any headaches. You'll feel less grumpy. The people around you will actually appreciate you more. But more importantly, you will provide yourself with a foundation, the very first step in helping you through your weight loss journey. Okay, so let's summarize. Water is important, obviously. Water is the important foundation to this program. You need to know how much water you need to drink. So now that we've got all that, make sure that you have whatever it takes to measure the amount of water that you have on a daily basis without even having to think about it. Make sure you have your own supply of water that you know, you can keep it as simple as possible, that you know is yours so that you can gauge exactly how much water you've had to drink. So in the meantime, make sure you click on the link in the video description below to book your very first appointment with me. That's going to be our onboarding call, where I'm actually going to make sure that you've gone through the process of drinking the amount of water that you need. But we'll also go through some more details about your weight loss program. We'll talk about any specific requirements for your program to make it as fun and simple as possible. For now, I'd like you to get started with this very simple exercise. Go to the supermarket, get yourself the bottled water that you need, and then you don't need to buy yourself bottled water every single day. You can always top it up. Drink it, top it up every single day. That's what I do, and I know that I've had my fair share of water on a single basis without even having to think, because at the end of the day, if this bottle is empty, you know you've done your job. Just like brushing your teeth, drinking water has to become that same routine, that same habit, if you will, and that requires that discipline. I call it being in the know. If you know you've had your 2 liters of water per day at the very least, you know you're doing the job right. I am going to ask you if you've had your water and how much of it you've had. Be sure you know that answer without even having to think more than half a second. It's going to be fun. We're going to make sure you get there, but let's start with the very foundations. Drink that water, hydrate, make it a habit, and we'll talk in our very next appointment.